Greetings. What's up, everybody? This is Tex from thctrust.org. If you're not interested in crypto, then you can skip over this video. Usually, the listening audience is about other types of research, but this is basically a crypto news update, especially for those who are investing in IOTA. So, here's something. This is new news from today, as a matter of fact. It's on September 8th. Today is September 12th, but on September 8th, David Sonstable, which is the founder of IOTA, he posted that we are daily getting more and more requests from companies. Just today, I had 5 calls with 5 of the largest organizations, companies in the world about concrete steps of IOTA adoption. So that would be big news, obviously. And this was reposted on Reddit about 19 hours ago, earlier today, September 12th. And then a user responded to the founder, David Sonstable. This guy, his name is Duck of Yorkcaster. He says, I feel like he's buttering my bread. 5 of the largest in the world sounds like an exaggeration, and it's pretty vague. It's very Trump-like phasing. We have the best people working on it. Big deals in place. I prefer less hype and more details. If he can't disclose details, don't disclose anything, right? And then, right after that, 16 hours ago, David Sonstable replies to that user. He says, you must be new here. We are anti-hype. This was a quote in the context of people freaking out over nothing. But yes, please remind me in the future to prove my statement right. UPBS-D, first letter of each organization, just so people can later confirm that we're not bullshitting or hyping anything. Again, this comment was this comment was an impromptu one to calm down the panic and to get people's focus back into reality. So there you have it. Now the last thing that I would say, I just want to say real quick, what was the panic that he was talking about? I think the panic he's probably talking about is we seen that article that said there was a vulnerability out. That article was pretty late, and again, as already had been said, many places on the internet, by the time that article was out, IOTA had already addressed and corrected that vulnerability. I think they corrected it probably much earlier, quite a bit earlier than was led to believe, even though they said they corrected it, because I remember kind of when IOTA, we had to hard fork the wallet and we had to generate a new seed or something to that degree. I knew it was something that had happened, but I could tell everything was taken care of because I didn't see any reports of anybody losing any of their tokens, and I hadn't lost any of my tokens. So I kind of wasn't surprised by the news because once again, it was 911. And if you've been keeping track of the cycle of things, you start seeing in September, financial chaos takes place. We just came out of a Mercury being in retrograde at the earlier part of September. So these things don't surprise me. And everything was happening very targeted. You could tell it's clearly a crypto war. Some executive, I think it was JP Morgan Chase, it could have been Goldman Sachs, I don't know. But you can find the article. He's basically saying crypto or Bitcoin is a fraud. If anyone's recommending crypto investments, he would fire them or something crazy like that. These people deal with paper securities and mutual funds and stocks and things that are very much just on a whole totally different system, and their system is directly threatened by digital assets. So their securities and their paper assets are directly threatened by digital assets. So you definitely know that this is actually a war going on. It's a crypto war. So you got to put things into context. It's kind of ignorant to say, oh, well, Goldman Sachs is saying this or Bloomberg is saying this. You got to put things into context. And, when you really put things into context, it's really not about the arguing that's going on. It's bigger than that. It's not up to the bank or the financial world as you see it to accept it. It's already bigger than that. It's already here. Now it's just about everybody trying to get their stake in control. That's my opinion. But not to get way off of that, the other thing I want to say, aside from that hype, there was a lot of other hype that I think caused little, scares and a lot of panic. One supposedly there's a lot of articles out. Some people say it may or may not be true. But out of all these articles I'm going to name, I've seen some of them on Bloomberg. I believe one on Reuters. Some pretty reputable sites are starting to talk about crypto, Bitcoin, IOTA, and things like that now. Anyways, one, apparently or not apparently, there, so it is said that China is banning Bitcoin exchanges. China has, right before that, earlier, all this happened around September 11th, slightly before or after. Before that, China bans ICOs, which kind of deals into the kind of Ethereum space. Then we had that exec come out and say that stuff about Bitcoin is fraud. And then we have the another article I seen saying that North Korea is hacking Bitcoin exchanges to raise money. So, but again, putting it all into context, it's September. And last thing I want to say about this, I just want to say this, shout out to David Sonstable. I like this, man. I feel real good that he's keeping people informed. He's dropping us some nuggets to make us feel good about the things that we invest in. I'm with that. He seems behind his company. I speculate that this U must be for Uber. It only makes sense because when you look at what IOTA does, what its objective is, what it was created for, Uber and all of the different tools that Uber uses to get you from point A to point B absolutely can benefit from IOTA. For example, I'm going to speculate Uber probably is paying some map service because they're using that map service in heavy volume. So there's probably some monthly amount that they have to pay to that service. This is kind of like a service paying for a service, the Uber service paying for a service. So this is services or machines working for machines that need to communicate information, which there's IOTA, the token or the technology actually routes and carries information over to Tango, and obviously the exchange of IOTA or value, exchange of information and value over a Tango network for multiple services at zero transaction fees, because it's the transaction fees that cause a big problem with Uber right now. Transaction fees, reversals, who's entitled to who. So many problems with Uber that will instantly be resolved. It'll be much more smoother, a better running service, I believe, with a nice implementation of some type of a cryptocurrency. It could be IOTA, it could be Ripple, but obviously it looks like to here, all speculation, of course, because nobody said this was Uber, but I would bet that it's Uber. So I'm happy to be invested in. I encourage you guys to invest it in. If you like this video, because I don't do a lot of crypto videos, but I see stuff like this all the time. If you like this video and you want me to keep doing crypto videos, you got to hit that like button, you got to hit that share button, and that's it. Peace.